Alrighty, in the magic of TV land, all of that has now disappeared. Poof, just like that. It was absolutely amazing. Did you blink? You blinked. That's why you didn't see that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and grab our number 2 pencil and our ruler. We're going to set a baseline here real quick for the word dad. Let's see here. Let's have it sit right around there. I'm just going to make just a quick little light baseline. Nothing really dark. We can erase that later on. And let's make dad about that tall. That works for dad. Alrighty, now we're going to hover the 1 over top of the word dad, so let's come in here right about there. We'll let it float just a little bit there. And let's make that 1 nice and big because, hey, dad is number 1, right? There we go. Alright, so that gives you height for your 1, height for the word dad. Let's find a center point here real quick, and let's say right around there is good. Just draw a quick little line straight down. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get in with the word dad. Use your ruler. Let's start with the A in dad. Come in right here, start with the top, and let's just streak right down the side. I'll do the other side here. At any point in time, if I'm moving a little bit fast, then hit the pause button. That's not a problem. As long as you're not hitting the mute button, we're okay. Alright, we'll come in here. Again, keeping that distance the same angle. We'll come in here, just draw a light line. Let's do the same thing. And this is where the clear ruler is really awesome. See, I can see through that ruler. You have a clear ruler, right? Alright, just checking. Alright, come in here, we'll get our A. Put a little bridge in that A right about there. And these lines will be erased after we start inking things in. Now the D is going to be really simple. What we're going to do is we're just going to make a block. Come in here. Come in here. Now you can measure these out from distances and everything else if you want to get really precise with it. That is completely up to you. I like a little more of an organic feel. That way it doesn't look so much like a computer did it and you did it by hand. Alrighty, we have your 2 squares right there. Now we're going to round off these corners here to make it look more like a D, less like an O. Right there. There we go. Got your corners. There we go. Okay, now for the inside of the D, again, clear ruler, a wonderful thing. I'm going to come in here so far, do right there. Do the same thing over here. Right about there. Now let's go ahead and do the tops of those D's here real quick. Come across, and again, we're just going to make a block inside, just like we did on the outside for the D's. We're going to make another block smaller on the inside, and then we'll round those corners off. There we go. And again, put a rounded corner off there, and there. There we go. Now it's pretty quick and simple. We have the word dad. Forwards, backwards, still reads dad. Alrighty, now let's move up to the number 1 up here. 1's going to be really simple. We're just going to do a rectangle on its end, right there, and we're going to do another smaller rectangle on its side down here for the foot. There we go, just like that. I'll give a little shelf out here. Now this one I will actually measure, so we're going to make sure you get a good strong measurement there because I want this one to be the same length as the base. This is the little spot that pokes out on your 1. The little diagonal line. Boom, right there. We have a number 1. Alright, well we have a 1. Let's do the number symbol on that. Now, one thing that I always learned, shapes, simple shapes. Everything's compiled of simple shapes. One of my animation teachers taught me that. We're going to do some rectangles. Do a couple little rectangles here, up and down. About the same width there. And we'll do them this way as well. Again, there's that clear ruler effect for you. Isn't it wonderful? If you don't have a clear ruler, you need to go get one right now. Looks like we may have to extend that down just a little bit. So let's do that. And we'll extend that down just a little bit. Again, these lines are going to be erased, so we're just getting an idea. Alrighty. Okay, now everything is sketched in for number 1 dad. So what we can do from here is, let's grab our Sharpie marker. Alrighty, back to the ruler. Now we're only going to do the outside edges. You don't want to do the lines here in the middle. So let's start off with these guys. Stop right there. I like to do all my vertical lines first, like that. Come back over here, right down. There we go. Now let's connect them up. Here we go for the base. Go top of that base. I'm just going to connect those dots right there, just like such. That little lip that we made, do that one right there. And now we have the top and the diagonal. There we go. That was pretty simple. Now with this here, you can use the ruler if you want to. I'm going to do this real quick by hand, that way you're not watching me or having to sit here watch me measure everything out by a ruler. But doing it with a ruler, you'll get a lot more precision, a lot more straight edge lines. But for time reasons, I'll knock it out just like this. And you see I'm going all the way around the edges. I'm not doing the ones in the middle, except for this block here, which is going to be right there. Alrighty, that looks like a number 1 to me. Alright, let's move down here to Dad. Get Dad taken care of. Again, I'm a big fan of doing all my vertical lines all together. I'm going to skip these guys. Come back to those since they have those rounded corners. Keeping the same angle. Here we go. Now we're going to do the center part of the A and stop. Open bridge. Come down to the bottom, just like that. Okay? Do it again on this angle. Stop. And the foot. And keep with that line right there. And stop. Alrighty. Come over here. Let's finish this other D up. Just like so. Alrighty, let's get these tops done here real quick. Let's see here. Now when I get to the curve on the D, I'm going to stop short. Just like that. There. Stop short. Come down here on the bottom. Do the same exact thing. The base, stop short. There's the foot of your A. Base, stop short. Okay. On the inside, same thing. Stop kind of short there. Short there. You see right where your curve starts. That's where you're going to stop. Because erasing a permanent marker is not so easy. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and finish this A off with the bridge right here. Right there. Drop that down. Right there. Alrighty. Now if you want to, you can always come in and do another short line right there. Again, stopping right as it curves on either spot. And then you can come back in and just curve it into it. Curve it back up into it, just like that. Let's do that again. Have a short line, stop. Curve in. Right there, just like that. Or if you want to, you can actually start on this end over here without using your ruler to make a straight line. We're going to curve, keep it straight. Just do one swoop, just like that. This one. Just like this. There we go. And that right there is number 1 dad. Now, like I said earlier, we have a bunch of lines all over the place in that. So what we're going to want to do, grab hold of your kneaded eraser just like this, and make it feel kneaded. Here we go. I'm going to erase those lines. You can really get in there with this. And let's get all those lines, all those guidelines we no longer need because we have finished our number 1 dad. There we go. And again, another reason why you want to keep your lines really, really light when you're sketching, so you can come back and erase them. They're not going to show up as easily. if you hold down the pencil real hard and you get a nice pressure on the pencil, you won't be able to erase those lines as easy. So, kneaded eraser, it is our friend. And hey, all that graphite on there, yeah, no more graphite. Beautiful thing. Alrighty guys, there's your number 1 dad. Now we're going to add some perspective to it. A little bit of perspective is something we always need. Let's see here. We're going to come down here. I'm going to say right about, let's put a little dot right about here. Alright, now that dot we're going to take from the edge to the dot. Everywhere we have an edge, we're going to go down to the dot. So, grab your ruler, sketch down to the dot. Find the next edge of that A there, and draw your line down. And you're going to keep doing this all the way around. Every time you run into a line or a point, we're going to draw a line. There you go. Now this A and this D are pretty close together, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now on the curve, we're going to find the outermost part of the curve, right about there, and draw your line. There we go. And we have lines from the inside of the D here. I'm going to draw it down and stop right there, because that goes back behind the D. Nothing here because that's a curve. However, there's a dot or a line right here, so let's draw that one to the dot. And again, we're stopping when we hit the A because it goes down behind the A. You get that outer curve, that first D right there. And we have this point right here in the A. Boom, right there. Same thing for the 1. Let's go ahead and do down. We're going to stop when we hit that D. Come over here. The same thing, stop when we hit that D. Now let's see here. We've got one more point to do. It's this one here. And I'm just going to draw that down straight. And there we go. Alright, you can keep them on going into infinity like that if you want to. Me, I like to come down here. I'm going to block it off a little bit. I'm just going to draw a line right through there. There we go. That's going to be the base of all my letters. They're going to go down to this point and stop. I want to show you the shadowing and shading later on. Now, this has a raised point to it. So I want to come up here just a little bit. And I'm going to do that right there. So this way, these guys, we can draw your lines down. And that mimics this motion right here, or the inside of the A. Alrighty, and also with the 1, let's not make it go all the way behind Dad, because number 1 is going to have to stand out here. So we're going to give it a little baseline right through here. There we go. And stop when you hit the D. That's kind of a good point. Alrighty. Now this guy, because it has so many different angles, we can do this a lot easier, and I'll show you how to do it here in just a second. Let's go ahead and ink that in real fast. Grab hold of your Sharpie marker, and let's go ahead and ink it. Now, something I did not do, let me go ahead and do that real fast before everything else. Let's see here. I want to come in here with the 1, and I'm going to make it straight across. Kind of like what we did down here, just gives it a little bit, makes it look a little bit better. Alrighty, back to the Sharpie marker. You're going to come down to that line, stop, and then straight across. That just blocks out that 1 a little bit. Alrighty, now we're going to trace those diagonal lines for your perspective with the marker. Make them nice and bold so they stand out and nice and pretty. Cross there. Stop when you hit the D. There we go. Let's do the same thing here. Stop when you hit the A. There we go. And you can see that perspective really starting to pop there. There we go, coming down, stop there. Now on this one, we're going to stop as soon as we hit that line. So, don't go all the way down to the dot. Remember that line is there. Down to the line, stop. This one here, down to the line, and stop. And just continue on until all the way around. There. Now this one, since I had drawn the recess of the A, go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go from this corner to that corner. There we go. Same thing here. Down to my line. Stop at the line. There we go. And last but not least, That one there. Now, we'll do these lines flat. There's the base of the D. There are your legs on your A. And the other base of the other D. Alrighty. And back to our favorite piece of equipment, a kneaded eraser. And we're just going to erase those lines. We do not need them anymore. They have served their purpose. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Lines. Alrighty. And there we have it. That right there is a three-dimensional #1 dad. Now, we're going to have to go through and add some color to it to really make it pop and stand out because, hey, every single one of our dads is an awesome dad, so you know what? We need to make it really, really cool looking too. So, we're going to just go over here and let me get a hold of these colored pencils